Got the gravel laid all nice and level. Time to lay some sand. All right, time for sand. Pavers made it here. We got these ones for the center and these ones for the edge. Again, shout out Rocky Mountain for hooking it up. Can Caden do it? Yes, he can. We'll find out. The next step you have to do is lay your borders out for your patio. This will help keep the bricks laid down flat. Me and my wife screeded this sand just to level it out as much as we can. But you're gonna level the sand as you lay the bricks so they're uniform. So as I lay a brick like this one, you can see this little gap. I'll lift up and I'll push some sand underneath it. And I'm gonna do that as I lay them all out so you won't have big cracks in them, and that locking sand will just fit right there and kind of level those surfaces. It's okay if it's a little uneven, but you just don't want these big gaps like this. Also, you will buy borders for everything that doesn't have a hard surface border. I didn't have to put one against my house because I'm just gonna use my house, and I'm gonna leave a small gap behind it, and the locking sand should fill in the rest. With these corners, you can get as fancy as you want, and you can 45 them, but I'm just going to keep the pattern perfectly level just to save time, and it won't look that bad. Once I get a full border laid out and the red bricks in the middle, you won't really even notice those corners. If you have a piece of the border that sticks out a little further than the others, such as right here, this little piece of house is sticking out, there's a little gap here. So what I do is I slightly bring all of them a little bit forward, and it's okay to have that small gap. And on the next one, I just slowly bring that gap back, and it should level itself out as you go along this plane. You want it just slightly. It's okay if it's a little bit, but try to make it as level as possible. So we got the start of a border. So far going good. It's getting pretty dark, and I noticed I need a better light up there. So by the end of this, I will replace that light also. I did notice there's a little waviness to the paver, so I'm going in as I lay it before I get too settled to lift the ones that are down and maybe sink the ones that are too high. It's a pretty tedious process for the border, but I think once I get the border laid out, the bigger bricks are going to be so much easier. This is what construction looks like. Just a messy backyard. But before I go in for the night, I gotta clean my chicken coop. I'm raising chickens. Hey, this one's a turkin. It's a half turkey, half chicken. I'm gonna have a YouTube video about raising these little guys. Can Caden raise chickens? Well, you already know the answer, but I'm gonna have a video about it. Don't know if you can see this, but there's a storm a-brewing. So I'm gonna try to get as much done before work as I can. This is what we made the first night of laying bricks. The hardest part was these cuts right here. This one can be fixed with some construction adhesive, and then the sand will fill in the rest. It's a little eyesore, but it's going to be kind of out of the way anyways. And this whole pad, you won't even notice it.
It's tight.
Like a glove. Thought I'd show you my non-OSHA approved way of cutting these blocks. So these are 9-inch blocks, so halfway is going to be 4.5. So I just mark it 4.5 right there with my little Sharpie, and then take my square and mark that off right at 9, and I do the same thing on all 4 sides. So I got it marked all the way around. This definitely isn't OSHA approved, but I've just been cutting them on the ground right here with this 4-inch blade. So I go halfway through, go all the way around, halfway through, and then I'll chisel it to break. What I do with my halves is I cut these edges off. Nice smooth finish here. And these will be the ends to every other. I found it easier to cut my halves before, that way I have a bunch just to lay down as we go. There's definitely going to be halves that I'll have to slim down or cut to a quarter rather than a half, but it's going to speed up the process a lot if I just have pre-cut halves. That way all the tools are out and all my measurements are done, and I can push the tools to the side and worry about laying the bricks. On the agenda tomorrow, this line is not completely straight. I need to bring it out. My ends should be complete, but they're not. I'd have to cut them, so I'm going to slide it over a little bit so I can just fit a complete block in there. So this is what we get in April in Idaho. A hailstorm after a 70-degree day. What's up with this weather, man? Anyways, making some progress. Snow's not going to stop us, but mono will.